It's game day here in Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium, #1 Florida State versus Oklahoma State alongside Lane Hurd. I'm Scott Kotick. Welcome Seminole fans to our very first game day of the 2014 season. Lane, when you look at this game, it's hard to believe that just on January 6th, Florida State was winning another national title. Enter into Arlington, Texas. The environment here is just second to none.
Absolutely, Scott. First and foremost, if you have not walked in the stadium before, it absolutely takes your breath away the first time. That Jumbotron TV doesn't do it justice. I'm glad the team came over on Friday just to walk through the stadium. They normally don't do that, but Jimbo made the right call here because it's breathtaking. And it's going to be a really exciting atmosphere because, of course, Florida State is the defending national champs opening up in a big primetime game.
And for Florida State, talking to the team all week, it's about ignoring the national championship, forgetting about it, moving on to this season, the task at hand, and basically forgetting about the atmosphere when that ball is snapped, getting down to gameplay. Now for Florida State, when you talk about game planning for that Cowboys team, it is J.W. Walsh, their quarterback, started about last half of the 2013 season, a guy that can really move outside the pocket very well. Florida State has got to be focused on contain tonight.
Absolutely. Oklahoma State's one of those teams, they like to run at a high-tempo offense. You'd think they like to spread the ball around throwing it. That's not the case. They like to spread the defense out and then run the ball. And they have some speed players to do that. They've got a great running back. They've also got an unheralded wide receiver, a big-time track guy, Tyreek Hill. Watch out for him as they try to get him the ball, try to get him out in space. And that's what Oklahoma State's game plan is all night long, is to spread the defense out and get players out in space to be able to make plays.
The Seminole defense will have a mighty big challenge on their hands. I think we all know they're up to it. Charles Kelly has got his crew ready to go. We flip to the other side of the ball. It's hard to pick out a focal point of that Florida State offense. I think everybody would think Heisman winner Jameis Winston, who led the Noles to a national championship, is the focal point. That offensive line, though, you go all the way down the line, 5 seniors, Carlos Williams in the backfield, Nick O'Leary, the tight end, Rashad Green, Christian Green, both seniors. The Florida State offense really is loaded.
It absolutely looks loaded on paper. That's the thing I'm really interested in seeing. Who steps up on the other side of Rashad Green? Is it Christian Green who earned that spot out of camp? Is it the guy in the slot who's listed #1 on the depth chart, Kermit Whitfield? Is it one of the freshman guys who comes in? And then at running back, Carlos Williams, he had a great season last year, but a lot of that was in mop-up duty. Can he step in as a starter and take that role? And then you have guys like Dalvin Cook and Mario Pender who are just chomping at the bit to get on the field for their first time. It's going to be really fun to see which Nole players are the ones who step up and develop throughout the season, and tonight is step 1 in seeing who those guys are going to be.
Let's get right to it, Lane. Keys to the game. What does Florida State need to do, not to make a national title run, to just win game #1 and get the season started out right?
Well, Scott, they need to play like they did last year, with urgency every single game. They can't, like you said, their national championship was last season, not this season. This is a new season. They need to stay sharp, have that chip on their shoulder like they've talked about all camp long, and come out ready to play.
For me, it sounds so cliche, but playing fundamental football, what we saw last year against Pittsburgh up at Heinz Field, Jameis Winston played about as good of a game as you can imagine, especially for a redshirt freshman. We've seen early on today turnovers. You look at that Virginia-UCLA game, how many turnovers are there in that first half? Florida State simply needs to play fundamental football. Don't turn the ball over. Focus on what you're good at. And as Jimbo Fisher always says, don't eat the cheese. Don't get caught up in everything. Don't get caught up in the atmosphere. Play your football, and Florida State will walk out of here with a victory.
Absolutely. And then a little bit on the offensive side of the ball again. Jameis Winston, defending Heisman champion. Can he have a season like he did last season? I remember last year there was so much uncertainty coming into game 1 with a new freshman quarterback and just what he did against Pittsburgh. Can he come out as the defending Heisman champion and come out and play like he did against Pittsburgh? If he does, I don't think Florida State has a problem with this one.
Needless to say, we're ready for kickoff tonight. Oh yeah, all new uniforms for Florida State tonight. Tonight they will unveil the brand new white jerseys. We can't wait to see those again. The home game next week, we'll see the garnet jerseys as well. Kickoff scheduled for 8:14. It's out here at AT&T Stadium. Lane Hurd will be on the field shooting great highlights as always. We'll have great social media coverage and plenty of post-game coverage that you've come to expect from us here at Seminoles.com. We'll see you after the game, Noles fans.